41.
You got a head start.
I don't remember any
Went on
of
the
this
UNLV.
stuff. We didn't have it. We didn't have it.
I won't actually use my cards this time. I am here, my name's Dave Fitch, and I'm here for Steve Harrow's Com 101 class. This is my persuasive speech. Who likes sitting in traffic? Nobody. How many pedestrians get killed each year? Lots. It's 237 over a 5-year period to be exact. And if you had the opportunity to walk or drive or ride your bike or take public transit to school or work, would you do it? I know I would. And these are important things to the Regional Transportation Commission when they're planning the future of transit here in the Valley. And it doesn't matter if you drive or walk or take a bus, because urban sprawl, traffic, and congestion affects every one of us, whether we live here or whether we're visiting. So my purpose today is to persuade you to share your transit needs with the RTC so that they can make better decisions on meaningful transit options for the Valley. Again, this affects me personally. I haven't driven in almost 20 years. I've either rideshare or used transit, or now I'm one of Uber's best customers. I spent 15 years down in Phoenix as a construction manager, and while I was there before and after they installed their light rail transit line. And today I'd like to persuade you that this is the most important means of transit to the Valley that we're going to have. It's a very meaningful option. I'm going to tell you why. It's the best solution of what's out there now. As I said earlier, there's been lots of talk about light rail transit in the news lately. And according to the Transit Investment Business Plan that they issued back in December of last year, they used 2014 numbers to give us 41.4 million visitors a year that contribute almost $30 billion in spending that turns into $14 billion in wages and benefits, 336,000 jobs, and is 54% of our local economy or economic output. And the reason that's important is because we have to look to the future. You've all seen that there's plenty of plans to expand in Las Vegas, an NFL stadium, the recently opened arena. We've got the Lucky Dragon about to open, Elon, Resorts World, the convention center expansion. Where are all these people going to go? You know, and it's predicted that by 2030, that 41 million visitors will turn into 55 million. There's 2 million of us living here now. By 2030, which is only 15 years away, hopefully I'll be done with school by then, we'll have over 3 million people. So we've got to get everybody moving, right? And the way that we do that is not by dumping everybody onto the strip off of an expressway. We've got to find a way to deal with the congestion that's down there. And light rail will do that by taking care of the core corridor. And what I mean by that is that back in January, the Urban Land Institute had a stakeholders meeting for what they call the Maryland Parkway Coalition. And Maryland Parkway is important because it's a main hub between the airport and downtown. And along the way, you have UNLV, you have Sunrise Hospital, you have Boulevard Mall, you have all the downtown casinos. So if we can find a way to connect those, this is not a great drawing, if we can find a way to connect those, we're going to relieve about 60,000 people a day off of that main corridor. Because you see, when you put all those extra people in town, there's only so much real estate on the strip. And not the real estate where buildings are, but the roads. You can only build the roads so large. And once you get to capacity, it is gridlock. And I mean, it's permanent gridlock. So the Maryland Parkway back sheet is the thing that I used most in my research that tells you about the 3,000 staff at UNLV, the 15,000 workers at the airport, the 2,000 at the Boulevard Mall, the 3,000 at the Sunrise Hospital, 8,500 downtown. Those are meaningful numbers for a stretch of corridor that allows people to use local transit. That's the second most popular bus line behind the Strip. The Strip serves in the neighborhood of 269,000 people a day. What do they call it, the Deuce? The bus that runs up and down the Strip. Maryland Parkway serves almost 70,000 people a day. So that's a lot of people to get out of there. The country's turned towards transit-oriented development. And what that means is in a March of 2013 study by the American Transportation Association and the National Association of Realtors, they found that during the economic crash, houses that were built in the transit shed, and a transit shed is considered half a mile on each property, half a mile on each side of the light rail. That property held its value while everybody else has crashed 40%. Those that live within the transit shed, their property values increased over that same period of time. Now that's important because Maryland Parkway is an aging area of our town and it's in need of some urban revitalization. Not to mention the fact that about 37% of the affected population in the transit shed in this area is in a lower income and minority type neighborhood that would really benefit from this. This is not the total answer, but it's the start. It makes the most sense because you can run it down Charleston, all the way out here, all the way out to Red Rock, to be quite honest, and pick up the medical district that UNLV is planning down on Charleston. In January this year, the Brookings Mountain West speech series down at UNLV had a speaker named Robert Lang. He's one of the urban affairs professors at UNLV, and he talked greatly about the Phoenix area and what it did and what the transit-oriented development did for Phoenix and how that would apply here. And basically they put in a 24-mile stretch of light rail that cost almost $2 billion to build, but it generated over $7 billion of economic development along the line. New businesses, new jobs, new schools. The ASU campuses expanded, and so did the Grand Canyon University campus expand, because now the students had access to get out of town. So we talked about light rail being our obvious solution. We talked about how it benefited the valleys in Phoenix and how it will benefit the valley here in Vegas. And the last thing we want to talk about is to get you to act. So I want you to go to rtcsnv.com, take their survey, let them know which of those transit needs would work best for you, and thanks for your time. Okay, I'll live with that. 30 seconds.
What's your time for that?
Oh, yeah.
That's right, 30 and over and under.